There are a few seats right over here, just a few over here. Maybe 3 or 4 over here on this side. Looks like there might be a couple of 3 over here. The beef is right here. Pork is right here. Everybody get located. Beg your pardon? Nice tie. Want to see something real cute? Look at that tie carefully and follow it right to the top. It's the man that makes the tie. The tie does not make the man. Hey, some of you guys can go home and tell your people you learned a new word this afternoon. Love, remember? That's it. Love. Say it again. You didn't drop over because you said it, did you? A new doctrine. Everybody get located. Please take the baby up there to the nursery. The babies go to the nursery. Ushers, help them up there find the nursery, would you please? Good. All right, find your places, please. 75,000 people in this one building tonight. All right. No standing in the back. Everybody get located. Gonna wait just about 2 minutes. Hey, don't stand back in the back of the fellowship. Have a seat. Hold it. Remember, love, say it. Love, say it again. Yeah, you forgot there for a while. What new doctrine is this, huh? Don't forget, hate those that hate you. Persecute those that persecute you. Curse those that curse you. And do it in a hurry, too. Overcome evil with evil. Try and teach you the Bible here. All right, find your places. We're about to start. And let's bow our heads, please. Our Heavenly Father, we give Thee thanks and praise for these days that we're privileged to spend together. There are people here tonight who've been looking forward to this for 51 weeks. There are people tonight to whom this is their annual trip. There are men tonight who are pastoring churches that are having mighty tough battles. They come here and they feel like they're in the majority somewhere. I pray you'd give them strength and help in these days. And I especially pray you'd bless our marriages. And tonight, as we think about that subject, help us to love our wives and love our husbands even more deeply than ever. In Jesus' name, amen. We have been talking about marriage, though I have not taught on marriage today. Dr. Malone spoke on marriage last night, again this afternoon. And our theme for the evening services thus far has been on the subject of marriage. As I said today, for 22 Wednesday nights, I've been teaching on marriage at First Baptist Church. I don't know anything that's helped our people any more than our lessons on marriage. literally has transformed the marriages and the families in our church. And of course, it's a joy for me to have my sweetheart again tonight to come, and so I'm going to read to you and to her another poem that I wrote. And last year we showed you our home movies. You know, it dawned on me that what we were doing. Somebody said after it's over, said Jack Hyles, the only fellow in America can show his home movies, have 250 minutes ready to preach. One of the maintenance men or custodians out at the Star Theater said, this guy Hyles must be famous if he can get 5,000 people to watch his home movies. And so this year I'm reading my home poems to you. Next year I'll talk to you about my grandkids for a while. But right now I'll get my sweetheart. Thank you. Step right up here, my dear, and turn this microphone up, please. And you think my home poems are better than our home movies? What do you think?
I think so.
She was humiliated last year. We got home, and she couldn't believe that we asked you to come all the way across America and around the world, 18 foreign countries, to see our home movies. Every time we've taken a picture this year, she said, you're going to show that at pastor school next year? Step right up here. And this poem was written to you upon my reaching my 70th birthday. In fact, it was given to you on my 70th birthday. It's called To My Sweetheart Upon Reaching 70. And here's how it goes. This is a tearjerker too, by the way. So that's good. That's good. Let me borrow it. Here's the way it goes. I wish I had another life to show you of my care. I'd choose for you to be my wife, and then I'd say this prayer. Dear God, help me to always be what my beloved needs, and help that she will always see my love shown by my deeds. I hope I have a few more years to tell her how I feel, to show my love a few more days and prove my love's for real. I'd like to have a decade more, and pack into those years a ton of joy and happiness to fill your life with cheer. But I'm not sure I can endure and live another 10, but I can show a love that's pure till now becometh then. I'd stumble on my awkward way to pack into her days a lifetime feel of whatever time that I'm allowed to stay. I do not know that if a stroke will terminate my strength, or other illness may provoke my life to have less length. I'd like to give what she deserves, whatever days I'm left, as long as God preserves my life until my time is cleft. All I can do is do my best to give her what I can, to satisfy all her desires and be the kind of man that makes her feel 'twas all worthwhile to share what time we've had to walk with me a few short miles along the path we've tread. I'm such an awkward aging guy, an amateur at best, but when it comes to godly love, I think I stand the test. I wish I could be everything my sweetheart doth deserve, but I can only humbly bring a love that will preserve. I realize that I have spent my own 70, but whatever time that God hath lent, I'll give her all till then. I wish I could give to her a bushy head of hair. Oh, God in heaven, don't I wish I could. But in its place, I offer her a sincere heart of care. Beneath these wrinkles I possess, beneath this furrowed brow, there dwells a mind that's seasoned with a love that God endows. Within this body worn by toil, there dwells a loving heart, a love that stands so tall and strong that life or death can't part. Has been a huge traumatic thing for me to reach this day, when my 70 hath come and quickly fled away. I worked so in her senior years she wouldn't have a care. Dear God, please, please make it be that we in these years can share. I wish I had another life to make her feel secure, to give my dear and lovely wife a love that is mature. Dear God, I know that this can't be. I cannot live till then, but could you, by your love and grace, give me another 10? 10 years with health and strength enough to live and love and share, to play and laugh and travel some, to work, provide, and care. But if my time is no decade, or measured not in years, if all I have are weeks and months to hold my sweetheart near, I'll give my all to use the time, to use what is the rest. I'll give my aging heart and soul to give to her my best. Dear heart, you are the loveliest of all the ones I've seen. My pal, my buddy, my best friend, and all the while a queen. You are beauty mixed with strength, and denim joined with lace, and honor wed to majesty, and truth entwined with grace. Written September 25th, 1996, on my 70th birthday, and I love you.
May I just answer? Grow old along with me, the best is yet to be.
Wow. Man, I rolled 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 24. I wrote 26 stanzas, and she outdid me in 2 lines. That really hurt. I got to wipe lipstick off. My wife will think I've been out with somebody. Open your Bibles for a second, would you please, to Ephesians chapter 6 again. I'm having one of my memory lapses, so I'm going to give the same Bible study I gave this afternoon. I'm going to give you about a 5-minute Bible thought here, and that's all. Just about 5 minutes. In verse number 10, finally, and I want to stop right there, finally. Now, if you're preaching a sermon and you say, now in conclusion, that means you've had something go before, is that right? So if you say finally, you're connecting what you're going to say with what you have said, is that right? All right. So when he says fine, now what has he been talking about? In chapter 5, starting with verse number 21, he's talking about the home and marriage. Home. He goes all the way down through verse 9 of chapter number 6. He's still talking about the home. For example, it says in verse 22, wives, submit yourselves. Verse 25, husbands, love your wives. Chapter 6 and verse 1, children, obey your parents. Chapter 6 and verse 4, fathers, provoke not your children to wrath. Chapter 6 and verse 5, servants. Now, by the way, servants lived in the same place or area. They were part of the family, so to speak. And so he says servants. Now he says, wives, this is what I want you to do. And husbands, this is what I want you to do. And children, this is what I want you to do. And fathers, this is what I want you to do. And servants, this is what I want you to do. And then he concludes it. So it's talking about the same thing. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and the power of his might. How? Put on the whole armor of God. So this thing that I talked about this afternoon, the putting on the whole armor of God, is to shield and protect the family. God says, finally, my brethren, put on the whole armor of God. Why? Because these whole 2 chapters are talking about the family. There's no institution that's been attacked in our generation like the family. All the way from the free lovers to the queers, to the abortionists, all that crowd. Everything is shot right at the family. But God said if you want your family to stick and you want your marriage to stick, you put on the whole armor of God. And so this if you preachers want to preach a good sermon, you just study what the armor of God is and then to apply it to the family. God says you put on, what is it? Prayer. What is it? Bible study. What is it? Faith. What is it? Soul winning. Why? Because you want to protect your marriage and protect your family. That's what it's talking about. I wrote a little song, and you've been hearing it, that is a theme song for our week. I had a Bible study. One of the studies I gave on marriage was that a husband should love his wife like a son loves a mother, like a brother loves a sister, like a lover loves a lover, like a sweetheart loves a sweetheart, like a friend, pal loves a pal, like a friend loves a friend. And the same is true for the wife. That's the way she'd love her husband. All the loves that are proper loves between male and female should be wrapped up in the marriage love. And so that's been our little theme for the week.
As a father loves a daughter, and a fellow loves a friend, as a brother loves his sister, and a lover loves his girl.
As a daughter loves her father, as a mother loves her son, as a lover loves her sweetheart, are the loves that make us one. For they all unite together to the woman of my life. I love her and complete her, my precious darling wife. So we blend our loves together as we form a happy team, and we live our lives together to fulfill a perfect dream.
As a son doth love his mother, and a friend doth love a friend, as a boyfriend loves his sweetheart, are the loves that deftly blend.
As a sister loves her brother, as a lassie loves a friend, as a helpmeet loves her husband, are the loves that deftly blend. Yes, they all unite together for a love that cannot die. My lover and completed, my precious darling guy. So we blend our loves together as we form a happy dream, and we live our lives together to fulfill a perfect dream.
Girls, stop right where you are, would you please? And let me lead you in a choir number, shall we? I'm a famous choir director. Every few weeks I go out to Hyles Anderson College, and on a Thursday night, all the girls just get together and we just have a time. Ms. Hyles goes out with me. She was out with me just a few weeks ago, and we just have a time together. We're a little liberal. We're a bit formal. We love to sing the sevenfold Amen, maybe the threefold Amen. So girls, you got to sing real loudly because you're always scattered all over the building. So watch me carefully as I direct you now in one of the three. I think it's maybe a threefold Amen. Okay, ready? Good and loud, girls. Ready? Ah, oh, louder, ready? Ah, man, a little louder, ready? Man, good, okay.
His more treasured possession, his reflection. But man turned himself away, refused his love, fell into darkness. But God's love reached through the night and dawned a brand new day. Then came Jesus, our salvation. Then came Jesus, the Son of God, his gift of love. Now my soul is pure, my heart set free. I can live eternally with Jesus because he came. Because he came. So many alone, weary of sin, living in fear of dying in darkness. Years wasted in gaining worthless possessions, an obsession. Lost but wandering on, looking for love in all the wrong places. Then his love reached through the night and touched the heart of man. Then came Jesus, salvation. Then came Jesus, the Son of God, his gift of love. Now my soul is pure, my heart set free. I can live eternally with Jesus because he came. Because he came.
I'll never forget. I'll never forget when I first took her on as a student. The progress she's made is amazing. But I don't take credit for it. I've had students that didn't turn out that well at all. But she's so much better since she got engaged. You that were not here last night, you just don't remember. She stood out here last night and sang a love song with her sweetheart. They were just going steady. She started to walk off, and he stopped her and brought her back, asked me if he could ask her to marry him, and asked her right here on the platform to marry him. And she said no. But up to then, it was a good story. But boy, Well, getting engaged helps her that much. When she gets married, she's going to be something else, I'll tell you for sure. Tonight we're going to discuss the subject of marriage again, and we're going to honor some people tonight who are deserving of honor. We're going to honor tonight. Let me get this microphone right here so I can move around a little bit. We're going to honor first a dear couple been married for a long, long time. A man who's been really almost went to heaven a few weeks ago, a few months ago now, and we're going to honor for his service for God and for his wife's loyalty and faithfulness to him, Dr. Carl Hatch. How you doing?
Good, good.
Great. Wonderful. How are you, Mrs. Hatch? God bless you. Come right up here, folks. Thank you. Be seated. Brother Hatch and I know why God judged him with his car accident. We were in Parkersburg, West Virginia, and Brother Hatch likes to think he looks younger than he really does. And he likes to, he's a little older than I am, and but he likes to ask people who looks the youngest. So we were in this restaurant eating lunch together with some preacher friends, and the waitress came up, and Dr. Hatch said, "Who looks the youngest? Who's the oldest, me or this man right here?" And without hesitation, she said to Dr. Hatch, "You're the oldest." Like to killed him. He wouldn't speak to me for a while. Like to killed him. And then I said, "Ma'am, the truth is, he's my father." As he walked out, she said goodbye to me and my father. And Brother Hatch got so bitter about it, God judged him and gave him an accident and put him in the hospital for a while. Mrs. Hatch, come up here, please. I want to ask you all a few questions here. Brother Hatch, you've been married for how long?
45 years.
45 years. And how did you meet him?
You really want to know?
No, I really don't want to know. I have no desire to know at all. Yeah, I want to know. Yes, ma'am, I want to know.
We went to a dance.
Don't feel bad about it. It was only last week. And where was the dance? Yes, I really want to know.
Some lodge hall. This was a New Year's Eve dance.
A New Year's Eve dance. And did you go alone?
No, I was with her.
You hadn't met her yet, but you're with her, huh?
I was with her, that's right.
That was your first date?
No, that wasn't her first date. But it was, yeah, it might have been. That's been so long, I can't remember.
Folks, pray for my dad. He's getting senile, would you? And did you like him that first time?
No, not particularly.
How about now?
Yes, Dad.
Like him now. Okay. Did you like her the first time?
Well, not really.
Well, you just couldn't get anybody else, I guess. I wish we'd rehearsed this. It's not turning out like I thought it would.
Those were rough days.
How long did you go to dances?
Oh, I couldn't hardly dance. We went about 4 or 5 times.
And what made you quit?
Well,
Oh, you started going to the taverns. I understand that.
I stayed too drunk.
Uh-oh, what'd you say?
I stayed too drunk. I couldn't dance.
It's getting worse and worse all the time. I hope you weren't saved then.
I know I wasn't saved.
Were you?
No, no.
I see. How long after that you get saved?
A year later,
A year later. Where?
got saved in Flint, Michigan.
And so actually you had no thought of marrying a preacher when you...
No, the last thing I'd ever wanted was a preacher.
Well, it's the nearest thing you could have come to marrying not much preacher anyway. This is one of my good buddies, and I love him.
J. Frank Norris is my spiritual grandfather.
Is that a fact?
The man that led me to the Lord, Dr. Norris led him to the Lord.
Isn't that amazing? And 45 years. And trace your ministry from the time. Have you been evangelist all that time?
No, sir, I pastored 2 different churches.
Where?
I pastored in Hialeah, Florida, and Fresno, California.
Did you still go to dances then?
No, just on the weekend.
I don't laugh at him. He's drinking just a bit tonight, folks. God bless you. We want to honor you folks tonight and tell you we love you and we're proud of you, and thank God he let you hang around a while longer. Have a seat right over here on the end, would you please, Dr. Miss Carl Hatch. Now we're going to honor a couple been married 57 years. 57 years, Dr. Miss Tom Malone. Would you come, please? Right over here, Doctor. God bless you, Doc. My favorite preacher right here, Dr. Tom Malone. And Mrs. Malone, I guess you met at a burlesque show, is that right, or something? Step right up here. Ms. Malone, step right up here. And where did you meet each other?
We met each other at Bob Jones College in Cleveland, Tennessee.
And you were a?
Freshman.
And you were a?
High school student.
Oh, were you really? Is that right? Did you date each other when you were still in high school?
Yes, we did.
Alone in a car?
Yes. That's what?
That isn't true.
She's lying?
She misspoke herself. Told her sport.
How long did you date before you married?
About 3.5 years.
Did you go on to Bob Jones College then?
Yes, we did. Yes.
And you graduated Bob Jones College?
Yes, sir.
And did you?
Yes, sir.
And you got married in what year?
1939.
Did you know he was going to be a preacher then?
Yes, I knew that he was going to be a preacher, but I didn't intend to marry a preacher. No. No, my mother sent me to the school so I would meet one of these preachers and marry, but I said...
You didn't want to meet one of these preachers and marry him. But you did meet one of these preachers and marry him. You didn't realize you married a famous preacher either, did you?
No, he wasn't famous right then.
Sort of a slow mover a little bit, you know. And how many churches have you pastored, Doc?
3. I believe. I might have forgotten some three.
You having one of your spells again, Doc? What churches are they?
Yeah, that dating in the car. That got.
Actually, that's what got you voted out of your first church, probably.
Yes, that's when I left the first church.
Well, you know, those of us that are old codgers, we can thank God that's back before Hyles Anderson college days, you know it.
Yes.
And, of course, we never dated in a car at all. Well, we didn't afford a car. And so you pastored what churches?
3 churches. I pastored a Methodist church.
I'd rather go to a dance. Go ahead, we'll try again.
See, I was saved in a Methodist church, and my first church I pastored for 1 year was a Methodist church.
And then the Episcopalian was next.
Yeah. Then I went to Pontiac.
How long ago?
I've been in Pontiac 57 years.
You won't hear a better preacher in your life than Dr. Tom Malone. We love you. God bless you. Have a seat if you would. Right over there. Our next couple to honor is my good friend, Dr. and Mrs. Joe Boyd. Come right over here. Over here. Edith Boyd. God bless you, Edith. Come right over here beside Joe and stand beside him. We're going to find out where y'all met. I've wanted to do this for a long, long time. How's that?
Be good.
I tried that. I tried that a long time ago. It's not any fun being good. Joe lived 2 blocks from me. We grew up 2 blocks apart, just a stone's throw, and I know for sure. And Edith, you lived on South Ewing, didn't you?
Yes.
That was about a block and a half or 2 blocks.
Yes.
You also, what's the name of that store? Grocery store up there on the corner? Libby's. You don't remember that. Huh? Shepherd's? It was Shepherd's for a while. Shepherd's on the corner of Idaho and y'all just hush for a while. Hobson, Idaho and Hobson, and then Libby's is down on Ewing and Hobson. That's right. But we didn't know each other very well. Joe, at that time, was 10 years older than I. And, but I mean this, and I say it, Joe Boyd is my hero. Joe Boyd was the all-city tackle at Crozier Technical High School. He went to Texas A&M, and he became All-American. His mother went to our church, and Joe's mother and I were very, very close friends. I mean, Joe's mother and my mother were very, very close friends, and also Napoleon and I knew each other real well too. And but his mother and my mother are very, very close friends. And but Joe's being older and the All-American player, and I was a little bitty run of a kid, and I'd look out and see him, and boy, as you can tell, he's always been just a prince of a man. And he was my hero. He really was. He's my hero. He's everybody's hero in our whole neighborhood, All-American. When Joe Boyd was Texas A&M, he was All-American, #1 tackle, Associated Press, drafted with the Washington Redskins. That isn't all. He was heavyweight boxing champion at Texas A&M, and he was heavyweight wrestling champion at Texas A&M, and he was the outstanding gambler at Texas A&M. And where did you meet Joe?
On a streetcar.
On a streetcar? Did you know who he was?
Well, I saw him every morning as we were going to high school,
Oh.
and we got on at the same place. So we just got acquainted that way.
Did you get interested in him right away?
Yes, he was so cute.
Boy, the years take their toll, don't they? What'd you think about her on the streetcar?
Oh, I went crazy, man. Yes.
I wondered where it happened. Okay, and was it love?
Love at first sight, and I told all the other boys, leave her alone. See?
I'll mind you one thing. When Joe Boyd said in our neighborhood, leave her alone, we all left her alone. I'll tell you for sure. We had they had what they called a Britain Street gang. Now, you understand gangs weren't like they are today. They were worse then. But, no, they weren't like they are today. Nobody killed anybody, but they wounded a few, and Joe was in the Britain Street gang, and my mother used to say, if you ever see one of the Britain Street gang, run home as fast as you can. I'd see Joe run in the house, look out the window and look at him, boy, I'd say, man alive, yeah, there's my hero going there. And so you, how long did you date before you married?
7 years.
7 years? Well, did you get Rachel the first time, or? Why did you wait so long?
Well, I didn't have any money, and I was playing football, and I'd get kicked off the team, and where she was working at the high school, they just fired her. Things have changed now. So,
What'd you get kicked off the team for?
well, you get kicked off the team if you're married.
Oh, so you didn't get married because you didn't want to get kicked off the team?
Yeah, that's the main thing.
What you're saying, you love football more than you love her. And where did you marry? Uh-oh. I know what you did. I know. You eloped. That's what you did. You ran off and got married. What a horrible example for these poor young people out here.
I don't recommend it.
He said he's sorry you did it. Oh, if I listed, would you shut up? If I listed the 10 best Christians I know, Joe Boyd would be on that list. I don't know anybody, and I know him well. We've been together, and I've been his pastor for good night, all your ministry, I guess, just about, still am. And not only that, when I was a kid preaching in East Texas, still in my early 20s, Joe and Edith moved down to Marshall, Texas, so they could be in our little country church, that little building out there on Hyles Anderson campus. And Brother Joe was traveling, and Edith and Amy and Bubba, their little children, lived in our area. Of course, I got to tell this. Old people just have so much to tell. But one of my pastoral responsibilities was to take care of Joe's family in case something happened, an emergency while he was gone. Had a dog named Shep. Dog named Shep, a German Shepherd dog, big old thing. Edith called me at 2 o'clock in the morning and said, Shep is sick. Could you come and take him to the hospital? About 2:30 in the morning, I was sitting in a car driving to a hospital with a dog beside me going. It's just not one of the duties God spoke about when He called me to preach. And these are lovely people. I love them more than I could ever tell you. Give them a hand. Have a seat right over here, Joe and Edith. Sure.
Yeah. I want to say he was very kind in his words in every way. Thank him for really saying that, but I want to say there's been nobody who has stood firmer behind my evangelistic work than Dr. Hyles and First Baptist Church. Through these years, I've looked at this church, and I've never been helped as much from anybody as I've been helped by Dr. Hyles. Most generous, kindest, tender-hearted, but don't get in a fight with him, he'll skin you alive. Amen? I love him with all my heart.
God bless you. Thank you very much. And now I guess the man who's sort of the patriarch of fundamentalism and his dear wife, Dr. and Mrs. Lee Robertson, are with us tonight. Right over here, Doc. Glad to see you. Hi, Gal. How are you? Thank you very much. Did you go to a dance on your first date?
No, sir. No, sir.
Did you ever pastor a Methodist church?
No.
Did you elope when you got married?
No, sir.
What a boring couple. Good night. The thing I hate is spiritual people. I don't know. How did you meet him? Where?
You tell him.
I don't recall now.
When he says he doesn't recall, he means it's worse than a dance, is what he means.
Church.
He came to your church.
It's a Baptist church in Birmingham. And I was singing in the choir. I can't sing. But I was filling up a seat. And I didn't see him good. You know, he was...
I don't want your biography. I just asked you where you met him. That's all I asked. And you saw her in the choir.
No, I didn't know. I met her later. I was holding a revival in the church and met her at that time.
In the revival. And were you impressed a great deal?
Oh, yes, very much, yeah.
Did you start pursuing her right away?
Right away at once, yes, sir. I kept it up.
Where'd you go on your first date?
I have no idea.
Watch it now. Come on, man. Were you in a car alone?
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. It's folks, don't let this shake your faith in them. We got to believe in them. So they're all we got. And how long did you date before you married?
Oh, about a year and a half.
Where did you marry?
In the Baptist church in Birmingham.
And did you know he was already a preacher, wasn't he? And but now you weren't a pastor at first, were you?
Well, I was a pastor, then I became an evangelist for 5 years, yeah.
Weren't you a singer at first?
At first, yes, sir.
Do you love me?
Oh, yes.
Would you do anything for me?
No.
Would you do a little something for me? Would you sing us one stanza? One stanza. Your favorite song. One stanza, your favorite song.
A little later. Not now. A little later. I'll do it later.
You'll do it later?
Maybe we're together. Maybe.
You'll do it later.
Depends how I feel. Yeah.
After church.
Yeah. After
But you will do it after church. You will do it when you get through preaching.
I'll see.
Stick in the mud. Dr. Robertson, good night. I always say when I get around, he's the only man in the world makes me feel like a preacher boy when I get around him, and I love to be around him. I'll never forget the first time I met him, Moberly Avenue Baptist Church, Longview, Texas. He was preaching there. And I was a young preacher. I was 27. I think he was 43 years old. And of course, those days, 43 seemed awfully old. But I'd heard about him, and he was back in the back corner of the church, and I came in waiting to preach, and I went and asked him to sign my Bible as a preacher boy, and shook like I'm shaking right now. And he's the father of all of us. He's the patriarch of fundamentalism, and you won't find a lovelier lady than Mrs. Robertson. God bless you. Have a seat over here, would you please? Thank you, God. From where you sit in pew tonight, you see 4 senior saints, 4 men who stood the test of time, who just forgot to faint. While viewing these four giants of God, no doubt you can detect the walk is slower than it was, their bodies less erect. You see some slightly furrowed brows, a wrinkle here and there. You see their shoulders slightly drooped and swiftly graying hair. You see some older gentlemen who've reached their 80 years. You see results of battles fought and won midst toil and tears. You see a walk that's not as swift, a step that's not as sure. 4 bodies worn by battle scars, a walk that's insecure. But when I view through my old eyes, a different thing I see. I see them as they used to be, or look in what they used to be. You look and see 4 older men we're honoring tonight. I see them as they first began to enter in the fight. I see the same determined face, the same impassioned look. I see the same devoted zeal. I see the same old book, King James, that is. I see right through that wrinkled face. Those furrows don't fool me. I see 4 guys as young today as once they used to be. I know the ones I used to know, the ones I used to see. I hear just what I used to hear, the same they used to be. Well, they're older now, and senior saints, at least that's what I'm told. But I have heard them preach of late. To me, they'll ne'er grow old. You see 3 guys over 80 years, and 1 70. I see 4 young and zealous guys, 'cause I remember when. For when I look, I do not view the wrinkles that you see. I see 4 men with countenance just like it used to be. Their wrinkles seem to smoothen out. Their hair is no longer gray. For what I saw decades ago is what I see today. No surgery, pain, or battle scars has made them age a day. Old Father Time can go elsewhere, 'cause they're young to stay. I hear the noise of screeching tires. I hear the clash of steel. I see a faithful man of God a-slumping at the wheel. But I'll declare to you, Dr. Hatch, just doesn't seem to age. No accident or piddling wreck could take away his sage. He hasn't changed, and he still walks right in the same old rut. And when it comes to witnessing, he's still a crazy nut. Now I look past that little limp and past that walking stick. I see a youthful, healthy Carl, not one who's frail or sick. And there's not one youthful lad who ever can quite match the vigor, youthful preaching skill that's done by Dr. Hatch. And by his side through all the years has been his love of life, a sweetheart, nurse, and faithful pal, a patient, loyal wife. I spoke one time at Lake Louise, Miss Georgia's blood-red sand. I heard a guy who soon became my favorite preacher man. I see the younger Tom Malone. His youth is peeking through. The one I heard decades ago is coming into view. I see a youthful pulpiteer. I hear his booming voice. While standing closely by his side, I see a lovely Joyce. I do not see an unsure step or view a furrowed brow. I see an Alabama guy behind a gospel plow. For as I look at him tonight and reminisce a bit, I see a faithful preacher man who hasn't changed a bit. And I see dear, loyal, faithful Joyce beside him all the way. That godly one I used to see is the one I see today. While looking through my casement pane, I saw him walking by. Joe Boyd, the All-American, he was my hero guy. I never thought 'twould be my thrill to someday shake his hand, much less to share the pulpit with my tackling football man. While up and down the land he went, there was a lovely wife who kept the fires aflame at home and lived a lonely life. Her face was fair, her step was brisk, her shoulders straight and tall. To many, Edith seemed to be the fairest of them all. I see a huge revival tent and sinners on their knees. I see the Joe I used to know and the one I used to see. You see an older Dr. Boyd. I just see Brother Joe. I see the All-American, the one I used to know. I see young Lee Robertson, the one I used to see, for I was 27 then and he was 43. I see the Robertson I saw 4 decades ago, with youthful zeal and robust form and countenance aglow, and sitting right down near the front, Highland Park that is, I see his lovely gal. She was his buddy, sweetheart, friend, his helpmeet, and his pal. I see the young Lee Robertson standing at the helm of Highland Park and Temple Schools, his giant gospel realm. As long as Dr. Lee doth live, I'll know the youthful joy of feeling like I'm still young, still a preacher boy. For when I enter where he stands, there enters in me still excitement that I can't explain, a tinglish, boyish thrill. There sits before us all tonight a pattern for our lives. 4 model happy marriages for husbands and good wives. So thanks to you, dear faithful ones, for showing to us all how marriages should really be and standing true and tall. Our thanks to you, great men of God, for every war you've won, for every battle scar you bear, and every race you've run. And thanks to you, dear loyal wives, who've often been denied the presence of your preacher man, yet stood right by his side. Our thanks to you for giving them a sweetheart and a pal, a helpmeet and a closest friend, an ever-loving gal. Thank you, giants of the faith, for standing tall for a total of 218 years of marriage. And I'd like tonight to take just a few moments to give you a little something as a gift. We're going to send all 4 of you on a second honeymoon. I have a gift certificate tonight for each one of you, and it says on here on the gift certificate, the first one says to Dr. and Ms. Carl Hatch from Pastor School, 1997, First Baptist Church, Hammond, Indiana, a second honeymoon trip to Hawaii. Dr. Hatch. And the same for Dr. and Mrs. Malone, second honeymoon trip to Hawaii. You let us know when you want to go. We'll plan the whole trip for you. And a second honeymoon trip to Hawaii to Dr. and Mrs. Joe Boyd. Have a good time. And a second honeymoon trip to Dr. and Ms. Robert. If you don't go, I'm going to beat the stuffings out of you. All right. Now, when you go to Hawaii, there's some things you need. Of course, anybody goes to Hawaii needs to have a lei to wear, so a lovely young lady is going to come out, and our ladies are, and place a lei on each of your necks. Doc, that just don't look right. I don't know why. Oh, man. Now, there's other things you need in Hawaii, too. The men will need Hawaiian shirts. So we have a nice Hawaiian shirt for you. Let's give Dr. Hatch his first. Do you have his name on it? Just hold it right there. Give Dr. Hatch his first. Dr. Hatch, just put that on over your coat, or if you want to, or take your coat off, put it on over your shirt. Doesn't matter. You better watch out. God will punish you again, boy. Dr. Malone, we have a nice shirt for you also here. Wow. All right. Dr. Boyd, we got a tent. What size is that? 2X large. See what it'll do for you, brother. We'll have it enlarged around the stomach for you, John. It's that hole back there on the left side. That's the one. Now, Dr. Robertson, we know how you are, so we're not going to ask you to take your coat off. I've never seen you with your coat off. I don't want to see you with it off. I'd lose my faith in you if I saw you with your coat off. Well, we got you a sports shirt, and yours is double-breasted sports shirt. Is that his? Okay, thank you very much. What's not yet? Okay. Oh, all right. Now then, the ladies. We'll just give you yours and give the ladies their sports shirts. And they're matching, aren't they? They're his and hers. We call them unisex sports shirts. And then other things you'll need. And how are you? The ladies will need something very special we have for them. So bring these. I'd give an awful lot for a picture of Miss Robertson right now. I really would. You don't have to try it on. And there's your bathing suit, Dr. Robertson. This is your bathing suit here. You can wear it in Hawaii while she wears her. This is your bathing suit, brother boy. Okay. Well, you ought to know how to do that. You met at a dance. Thank you, young ladies. Thank you very much. We want you folks to know we love you, and we want you to go to Hawaii and have a second honeymoon. Just have the time of your lives. You deserve it, and 10,000 other things also. No one knows these people better than Dr. and Ms. Evans. Dr. Evans, of course, the president of Hyles Anderson College. Mrs. Evans is a challenge to all of us in these days when she's been fighting cancer to live and to serve. And so I thought it'd be fitting if they'd come and sing a love song for us. Ms. Evans, you can have this mic right here. And Doc, you can have this one right here. How's that, okay? And in honor of these four giants, the man who knows them as well as anybody knows them, you're a little jealous. You want one of those grass skirts. That's what you got. And in honor of these four fine couples, Dr. and Ms. Evans will sing a love song.
I'll be loving you always with a love that's true, always. When the
things you plan. Helping hand, I will understand. Always, always. Days may not be fair. Always. That's when I'll be there. Always. Not for just an hour. Not for just a day, not for just a year, but always. Dreams have all come true, growing old with you, and time will fly, caring each day more than the day before, till spring rolls by. Then when the springtime has gone, then will my love linger on. I'll be loving you always, with a love that's true, always. When the plans you made need a helping hand, I will understand. Always, always. Days may not be fair. Always. That's when I'll be there. Always. Not for just an hour. Not for just a day, not for just a year, but always.
Keep your mics and stand over here. Stand over here. Keep your mic. Stand over here. That's good. Thank you. I'll step up just a little bit here. I sort of want to interview you a few minutes. You met at a gentleman's club, I guess. Where did you meet?
We met in college at Bob Jones University.
We don't need to know what college.
Oh, you don't
it is.
need to know the college, yeah. Furman, yeah, I believe it was.
Furman
University.
Furman
Yeah.
University. I'd rather you lie than tell the truth. But anyway, so Ms. Evans, where'd you see him the first time? You remember?
Yes, we were working in Mission Prayer Band. He was the president of the Men's Mission Prayer Band, and I was the
I
president.
want you to know, Brother Hatch, how some people met. I'd be ashamed of my. But let's make that trip to Las Vegas for you, Hatch. Was it love at first sight?
No, we had to work together because of the offices that we held, and so it was something that grew.
And was it love at first sight for you?
No, sir. No, sir, because he was engaged to someone else.
Engaged? Who was it?
Who was it?
I don't know.
Oh. Like one of the men said, it's been a long time ago.
Who's on first is what I want to know. Okay, Dr. Evans, who was the young lady to whom you were engaged?
She was from my home church.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And what did you do about breaking them up?
I didn't even think. I thought he was just.
You're
really...
stuttering now. Yeah. I didn't. Yeah.
Well, I had a roommate and he had a roommate who were going together, and they got campus, and so they asked us to go with them to a one of those artist series things, and we sat between.
I like the way you put it. One of those artist series things.
And we sat between them so they wouldn't be together, and we got to talking and having a good time.
Let's explain that having a good time a little more carefully.
It's about like having a good time at Hyles Ederson College. Same idea.
Which means you had a lousy time.
Yeah. Right.
Okay. Where'd you get married?
We got married in Wymore, Nebraska, her hometown, her home church.
And how long had you dated, Marlene?
About a year.
About a year. And you got married in your hometown church. And did you know you were marrying a preacher?
He told me he was going to be a pastor in a rural area and go out and work with the farmers during the summer, and because he'd really understand them. So I was marrying a rural pastor.
No, he's not bad. He has pastored, but not a rural area in that pastor, and then he never has worked. But most of it is true. Okay. A question too I want to ask you. How many children do you have?
We have 2 children with us.
And the names?
David and Joy.
David and Joy. And Marlene, where's David?
David is in Texas, and he is working with Texas Instruments down there. And Joy, you didn't ask me that, did you?
No, I'll ask you though later on, but just you answer the questions that I ask you. That's all I'll do. Does David have children?
Yes, Amanda and Tony.
2 grandchildren in Texas.
Yes.
And tell them where Joy is.
Joy's in Papua New Guinea.
Tell us something. She's married to?
Jeff Ryder.
Jeff Ryder, and he's a missionary.
Yes, sir.
Tell us something about where they serve.
Back in the bush country in 12,000 miles from here.
12,000 miles from here.
And the bush country, back where there's not a telephone, there's not a restaurant, there's not a store, there's nothing. Isolation. Completely.
You didn't mention a church. I guess that doesn't mean much to you, but no restaurant, no store, but no malls.
No.
And how long have they served on the mission field?
10 years.
10 years. And I happen to know that you just went over to see them. How long ago, Doc?
We were there at Christmas time, preacher.
At Christmas time. Well, tell me, describe the trip.
Well, it's just one of those trips where everything was perfect from the beginning to the end. Every plane was on time. We flew on 10 different airplanes going and coming, and all the planes on time. Everything was.
Where did you stay while you were there?
We stayed the first 6 days in the jungle with them in their home, and then we all came out to the coast and stayed in a missionary apartment.
Ms. Evans, I hate to discuss this, but we couldn't talk to you without talking about your illness. When did you find you had cancer?
3 years ago next month.
Tell us something about your ups and downs, your hopes and doubts and everything.
Well, if anyone wants to know exactly how I feel, if they heard Dr. Hyles Sunday morning, he was right on. He knew exactly my ups and downs. I do have the hard times, and then I have the times when I think I'm going to be able to go do something. And Brother Hyles told me I should be the most surprised person if I die. Even though they've told me I'm going to, he said I should be the most surprised person. Some people here tonight have told me that because I told that's helped them too. In other words, keep going and keep living until you do die.
You have kept on going. You really have. Still teachers your class at Hyles Ederson College, and still travels around the country. And she talked frankly about it. She came to my office the night. We talked about it. What was the last report that you got from the doctor? When you went to Mayo the last time, when they gave the report, what was it?
They said that we can no longer talk cure or remission, but we can talk maybe some control and some pain control.
How long do they give you?
It'd be about 6 to 8 months now.
6 to 8 months, and that's how long Mayo says you're going to live. We know better, but that's how long they say you're going to live.
I'm going to be shocked.
We've got, we've already got, we're planning the latest spectacular for 1998 right now. We are, and we're going to be there for it. I guess all of us would ask the question and think the question, your son's in Texas, and your daughter and you, how many miles away?
12,000.
12,000 miles away. And when you said goodbye to them, how'd you feel?
Pretty much just had to just get kind of steely and walk away.
I wrote the
Not look
question
back.
down because I want to be able to ask it properly. Thinking that you may never see your granddaughter and grandkids again, how did it feel when you said goodbye? When you said goodbye, how did it feel when you said to them?
Pretty terrible.
Who's that? We've been hiding them. I wish you wouldn't throw our microphones around like that. We have to pay for these things, you know, and they're not used to being mistreated like this.
I learned that from my preacher. Learned that from my preacher.
We've been hiding them for quite a while, and they've come this 12,000 miles just to say hey, they love you, and we wanted you to be together for a few days and enjoy each other and live it up. Doc, say something.
Yeah, say something. Yeah, sure. I'm not often without words, but I think I am right now. I'll tell you, this is absolutely unbelievable, shocking. I don't know when I've been knocked off the Christmas tree like this. Oh my goodness, preacher, all I can say is thank you. Good night.
Jeff, welcome home.
It's good to be here. Thank you. We were very glad to come do this. When I left Mom at the airport, I didn't know if I'd see her again. And we knew it wasn't going to be an easy trip or anything like that, but we're glad to be here. And you're talking marriage, and they've been an example to me and of everything I could ask for in in-laws. And they have been teachers without teaching. They have been an example. And because of that, they're the greatest in-laws in the world. And I'd traveled 12,000 miles several times to come see them.
Joy?
I'm kind of speechless right now. I'm just so
Hold it right close to you.
I'm very thankful to be here and see my parents again. I can't thank you enough. And I love them dearly.
I know you do.
So thankful for this opportunity.
Ms. Evans?
People just aren't going to believe me anymore. I got to get this show on the road. I keep telling them I'm not going to see him again. I told him that 2 years ago. Then I told him that at Christmas
I'm sorry
time.
I messed it up. Don't nag at me. I got a woman's got a license to nag at me.
I'm having the best funeral anyone could ever have.
You're going to have a good time for several days. Give him a big hand. Thank you very much. Y'all can go have a seat. Go on out. Get on. You're through with you. Huh? No, you can go sit down and enjoy the. Sure, they can sit down with you. Good night. Dr. Robertson's about to preach and you want to leave. All right, you folks that have escorted these folks to the platform, would you come and escort them back where they were, please, all but Dr. Robertson? You try keeping something like that a secret. All right. Thank you very, very much. Now we'll have a congregational song.
Let's take our songbooks and turn to number 11. Love Lifted Me.